Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Wand and Crown. I'm Haley. Keely is over in the pink shirt, and joining us today is Brooke, another one of our magical, wonderful travel agents over at Carry on the Magic Vacations. This episode, we are going to be talking about the experience that we had at Universal's new theme park, Epic Universe, because we were lucky enough to be invited to come during the preview period. So we got to experience it before it opened, and I still have not completely stopped being excited for that.
Because how cool. Like once in a lifetime to go. And like, again, I think once in a lifetime, like in most, pretty much all three of ours lifetimes.
Yeah.
Lifetime opening.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were all alive for when Animal Kingdom
I said for the most
opened, but we were very young.
The most
to go.
I think I was like 7 years old when that happened. I didn't know about it, so it doesn't count. So this is the first time in my conscious mind and can grasp a theme park opening.
And grasp. I have no idea what I thought you just said.
Anywho, this is off to a great start.
Yeah. So just a reminder, when we went, it was during the technical previews. So there were some restaurants that were not open yet. There were some shows and rides that were still in technical previews. They're still kind of
finalizing.
Yeah, they opened this park up for previews with like crowds of people so that they can kind of test their rides and attractions against the masses, because there's no way to figure out what's going to possibly break over extended periods of use without extended periods of use.
Their intent is to break it. That's kind of like, and I've been seeing a lot of people upset, and that's a whole separate conversation about the previews, but you're going in, but that's the whole point, is they want to break it. They want to see how far they're gonna be able to push it, because again, this is the newest theme park to open in 25 years in Orlando, the theme park capital of essentially the world. Yeah. It's gonna be tested day in and day out for the next 2 to 3 years. So yeah. They needed to do this. They need it. And I know there's a lot of rides that we did when we were there that we saw a lot of stuff in B mode, or we didn't even see animatronics. But that's good. That means they're working on it.
Yep, exactly.
For when it opens,
which is going to be when we drop this episode. So when this episode is out, it will be opening day of Epic Universe, which was completely unintentionally, but somehow also planned. It was an accident.
Yeah, right.
It just happened to go with our schedule. So
yeah, right.
Fates were with us.
Exactly. The universe was with us. With Universal. Exactly.
Okay, so are we going with the universe puns this episode instead of epic puns?
Why not both?
Porque no las dos.
I knew that. Yep, I knew that was coming. That's why I said it. Yep. All right, so I think what we'll do first is we'll kind of go over our overall impressions, little things here and there, and things that we were asked or we wanted to focus on, and then we're gonna kind of go through our day and how we kind of went through the lands, so you can see what we did. But again, during previews, so crowds were
lighter than they will necessarily be in the coming months.
Yeah, which was really cool. But I think
still busier than it had been in previous months.
Yes, correct. Because it was team member previews, and then they kind of started again amping up to try to break everything and see what it was doing. I think the one thing that we can all agree on is be prepared for the lack of shade.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of sunscreen, lots of water.
And expect sunburn.
Yeah,
because I think all three of us got sunburn.
This is not going to be a do it before you leave the hotel and you're good for the day. Because
bring it with.
Yes.
And I'm not a reapplier.
I reapplied all day and I still got sunburn.
Yeah.
The trees
So-
are not grown in yet.
No, and I think after a bit, like they will. So I think that'll help. And then once they kind of grasp like where the crowds are and like where they could use shade, and once the trees are grown in, so that one's gonna take a while. But yeah, sunscreen hat. I wanted to buy the hat, so I didn't take a hat. But like if you want a hat or goes with your outfit, buy a hat, take a hat, because that'll get you every time. Gets me every time. So yeah, that was a huge. I don't say issue, but just like thing that like they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
if you-
whole idea for this park is to, I keep saying this, is to put the park back into theme park. So there are a lot of flower beds and park area
Foliage.
trees and whatnot. Um, but again, the park is brand new. So they're planning on these things being big and shady, but
Yeah.
it's not there.
It has to grow.
Yeah.
Patience. Yeah. The other thing we noticed too was I just had my water, lots and lots of freestyle machines, which Haley and I talk about this all the time in our other episodes. I will drink the free water from Disney. I don't care. Haley won't, but at Universal she will because they have the freestyle machines, which are like filtered water. What are you making that face for?
I don't like it, but I have to budget now.
You're welcome for that, of helping you do that. But anyway, okay, my point here.
Cold, that's my issue. I don't care. It could be if Florida water came out of a water fountain ice cold, I would drink it, no problem. I'm
You did when you go to quick serve, you get it with the ice, and it's anyway. The freestyle machines at Universal, you can get ice and water. You can take your own water bottle. You can fill up ice and water as much you want. They are legitimately everywhere in this park. I feel like every time we turned around, we saw one, which is awesome.
Yeah. And they also added on top of that to just having water fountains and the bottle refill stations at just about every restroom, if not every, like a good amount of them.
Uh-huh. And in lines too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a couple in lines.
Yeah, which is good. But then also back, you might have to pee when you're in line. But pick which one's more important.
Hydration is
You
more
don't have to pee if you're getting dehydrated.
So pick which one's more important, dehydrated or pee? I don't know. That's your pick your own path. But yeah, they're literally everywhere except for Harry Potter. That's across all 3 Universal parks. J.K. Rowling will not allow freestyle machines in the Harry Potter sections. They theme all of them great to all of the lands they're in. They do, again, at all 3 parks, they theme it like wherever it is, or at least around it is themed. So I don't know why. So just a heads up, we saw some at the I think it was just a freestyle like kiosk where you could get the cups right outside. So we filled up before we went into Harry Potter.
Yep.
So yeah, just always keep in mind in that for any of the Harry Potter lands, they don't have them in there. You can still get water bottles. I think it's called Gilly water is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
but-
did see too that some of the lands had specialty sodas in the freestyle machine for like themed to that land. I think at least 3 of them have it.
And that too.
Which would make sense. Everything but um I don't think Dark Universe, was it Dark Universe that doesn't have one? And
I don't know. I
then-
was like, if Dark Universe has one, I might have to get freestyle cup next time.
I know Isle of Berk
know.
definitely did.
I know Celestial Park does, and I know for sure How to Train Your Dragon has one.
Okay.
I believe there was 4 for the whole park, different themed
Well, that would be all
beverages.
except Ministry then.
Okay. We didn't get
Matt,
freestyle
yeah.
cups, so
I feel like not like Celestial Park doesn't feel like its own section. So then when you
Yeah.
count, I feel like you're like, no, I did. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so they
It's
do
kind
that
of same,
for,
but with a theme. mean-
yeah.
It has a theme, but you know what I mean.
Yes, exactly. They do that for Halloween Horror Nights too, because I got to bring it up every episode. They do themed sodas for every year in the freestyle machine. So
I miss
Yeah.
And you guys told me not to get a freestyle cup.
Okay, well, maybe we can this October, like we want wands, which we'll get into that in a minute. Well,
You guys
later in the episode,
drink.
we'll talk about our splurge on wands. Um, but well, speaking of the wands, so that actually can cause you to have really cool character interactions, which are like a huge part of this part, kind of like what Haley you were saying earlier about like you're not just there for the rides. You're not.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No.
This is not a 1-day park. Even with the low amount of crowds that we had, we did not get to do and see everything that we wanted to do and see.
I would even say with Express, I don't even think you could still get everything done.
I don't think so either.
You could do the rides that day and then go back and
Yeah.
experience everything another day.
I mean, especially if you're like into the character interactions, or if you are a Harry Potter nerd like us and you get a wand and you want to like try all of the
Spent so much time.
you want to try all of the interactive areas in Ministry of Magic and use your wand there's so much. There's not enough time.
There's so much to do.
There is. It's and I just like think back of like everything we did, but then I think back to everything we wanted to do and like what we saw when we were there, and I'm like, oh man, but I'm like, okay, just then we'll do it next time.
Yeah.
I'm not
There's gonna be a next time.
Yeah, we already have the next time planned, and then I might have a next time after that planned already, but we're all going together. It's fine. But yeah, so there's character interactions, and then we'll kind of get deeper into those like in each land because there's some really, really, really. I mean, there's cool ones in every single land.
Yeah,
But
I think this is really what Universal is doing well with this. I mean, like the theming overall, obviously, like everything is amazing. The roaming character interactions, the fact that you don't have to stand in line to meet every single character. There are some like Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, and Toothless, and then some of the Super Mario characters you have to stand for because I don't think they can really roam without falling over.
And kids will ambush them.
Yeah, and kids will ambush them. But like there are roaming characters everywhere and entertainment everywhere, even in Celestial Park. Like they had the moving statue lady that was super cool. They had the Celestial Singers, the band. That's going to be super cool after dark. I feel like that's a little ragtime dance area. I'm very excited.
It reminds me of like the stage they have at Disney Springs, where it's just like kind of going, you're just walking around and it's just like that ambience. Like even if you're not sitting there watching, it's just an ambience to like add to when you're walking through, which is just like that's my favorite thing about Universal parks. I think it's the ambiance. I think that's my favorite thing. So I feel like they're really focusing on that in this park, even though I think they do a really good job at the other parks. I think they're really like zeroing in on that in this park.
Definitely.
Is really cool. What else? We were just talking about before we started recording about like the height requirements.
Yeah.
we okay, so we said this in our last episode about Epic. I think I still feel this way. Again, you're not going, it's not Magic Kingdom. You're not going, it's not going to be a big focus. It is a mix of like high intensity rides and some rides for the like younger kids, but we're not talking like you're going to take your little newborn baby on like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like a random ride. Monsters Unchained. I don't know. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff for them to do. It's a good mix, but it's still not kid focused.
Not kid focused.
Yes, it still was built with them in mind. There's still things for them to do. There's still things for people who get motion sickness. There's still like some things for them to do. But I mean, Universal is known for its thrill rides. It's not, again, you're not getting Small World, you're not getting People Mover, you're not getting Carousel of Progress, you're getting Stardust Racers, which is like amazing. But we'll get into that. We're just gonna get into everything. I keep saying that, but like, I want to elaborate now. Keep some organization. But yeah, I feel like it's a good mix.
Yeah, there are 2 rides in the park that we could think of or find that don't have a height requirement at all. That's Celestial Carousel and the fire drill over in Isle of Burke. Both of those have no height requirements. They do have a height requirement for riding alone. Everything else has a height requirement, even in Super Nintendo world. Yoshi's has a height requirement. But Keely, you were saying like their height requirement is 34 inches for that, and Lucas is basically that.
He was 30 inches, and again, he is on the taller side, but I mean, for a 1-year-old, he was 30 inches. So, by the time we go in December, he'll be almost 2. He should probably be very close to that, if not right there. And don't put lifts in your kids' shoes so they can ride the rides. Don't do it. The height requirements are there for a reason. I hate that. That irritates me like so bad now. Like it did before, but now it irritates me as a parent where I'm like, why? Why would you make that poor choice? Anyway.
Because they don't know how to say no. They don't want to be the bad guy. Anyway.
But
psychologically diagnosing people on here.
But if you're one of those people, don't. Yeah, I will add to that though. They have that Viking training camp, which I walked through that when you guys were on what's it called?
Racers
Yeah.
Rally.
Yes, when you guys were on that, I walked through the training camp. Yeah, I thought it was going to be scarier than it was, I guess. But no, it was really cute and it was like shaded and I really liked it. So that's like a good area for like kids to run around. There's stuff to do. There's like, it's like different training stations. And I thought that was really cute. They have that splash pad. I think we saw it in Celestial Park. It wasn't running, but I'm assuming they're working on it. So they'll have the splash pad and there's stuff to do in all the lands, like Super Mario, super interactive. So like if they can't do a ride, there's so much to do for them to run around and like do. So there's still things.
Seeing everything is an experience in itself.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's just crazy.
There's plenty of things to do if you can't do all the rides or don't want to do all the rides.
Yeah.
Like do the rides that you can.
So we're gonna go. I think that's our basic overview. We're gonna go through what our day looked like, and then go from there.
Yep. See if we stay on the rails. Probably not.
Just like Minecart Madness.
There you go. All right. Making universal puns and epic puns and making joke and ride puns. That wasn't a pun. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. Somebody go.
Okay, so we stayed in Endless Summer over at Surfside in
Surfside Endless Summer. Sorry, I did put Endless Summer.
Yeah, you did put Endless Summer.
But it's technically Surfside. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter.
We stayed at Surfside. I knew that it wasn't Dockside because there's a restaurant in my parents' hometown called Dockside, and I remember that we weren't staying there. Anyway, mnemonic devices, kind of. So if you stay at any of the Universal resorts, you have access to early entry over at Epic Universe right now. Like that could change, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. You can Uber to the front of the park. Or, I'm sorry, you can Uber to the park. You can take a bus. I would suggest taking a bus if you are staying on property. One of our other agents did self-drive, and she noticed that when she parked out in the parking lot, it's a bit of a hike to get to the front of the park, and the Ubers were dropping off in the same area. The buses off much closer.
And there's no tram, and again, lack of shade. So those two things to keep in mind too if you're driving there. If that's your mode of transportation, that's fine. Just know that's
be prepared.
Yeah.
We, however, wanted to experience Flora Taverna over at Helios Grand Hotel. So we made a breakfast reservation there and Ubered over to Helios first, mostly because we wanted to see the hotel. It's beautiful and it's attached to the park, which is just, I'm trying very hard to keep my language within acceptable bounds because I just want to keep being like, ah!
I mean, we did that day. We were just screaming, yes. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
More color. Much more colorfully. If you are staying at Helios, you have your own dedicated park entrance. If you have a breakfast reservation at Flora Taverna, there is a chance they will let you use that dedicated park entrance for early entry as well. It is not a guarantee. We got lucky. We were let in from that. It was a line. If you were staying at Helios and you want to take advantage of the early park entry, get there early, because it snaked through security, back around, down a hallway, had a break by the elevators, and then went back outside and down around almost all the way to the front of the hotel. Like, the break was large enough, and it was in a hallway because they needed to be able to let people walk through the hallway. But the break was large enough that we thought that we were getting into the back of the line, and we're like, oh, this isn't a bad line. And people had to be like, no. So yeah, we were those people.
By accident.
By accident, yes. But if you are dining in Helios, there's a chance. Keep your receipt so that you're not that person. There's also a chance they're going to say, no, sorry, you got to take an Uber back around to the front of the park and enter with everyone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll check your room key too. So if you are staying there, and that's for any early park entry. If you're doing that, again, all 3 parks have this policy. If you were doing the early park entry, you need your room key so they can validate that you're currently staying at one of their properties. And so that's going to be to get into the front of Epic. And if you're going through Helios, they're going to ask to see your Helios room key, or again, in our case, your receipt, and then hopefully they'll let you through. Yeah. So it just depends. But I will say the only downside to going in that way is you don't get like that grand, like you do, but it's different. Like I kind of wish we would have gone through the Chronos and like gotten that first like big, you still get a good impression. Like, don't get me wrong. I just feel like I would have liked to go into the front, which I feel like doing it on our next trip will still like have a really cool effect because we haven't done it.
Yeah. I think there's going to be just walking through there and just seeing it come through and just open out. I'm literally like, I'm getting chills thinking about anyway. Yeah. We also all cried, by the way, when we walked into Helios and saw the park through.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we all took turns. Yeah. So that's kind of the two ways you're going to come into the park. When we got into the park, now Brooke had the disability pass. So Brooke, if you just want to like, I guess, speak to that experience, not necessarily the whole time, but like just when we got in there, like how you kind of handled it and how,
Yeah. So you have to go pick up the accessibility pass, but they have a concierge desk at the entrance to all the lands as well as at the front of the park. So you just have to go there and show them your information and your confirmation that you were approved for the pass. And then they will write your dates on the card and give you the card that you can take to get return times and go through the express lane so that you're waiting in line, but not in line, just in a different look. Like you get a return time and it's about as long as what the wait time for the ride is. And you go back and then they send you through the express lane. If it's under 30 minutes, they will just put you directly in the express lane. So we were able to utilize that on a couple of rides, but it's going to be busy, so be prepared.
Yeah.
If you're going in the next couple months.
I like that they had it outside of each of the portals because at the other parks, it's guest services. That's it. So you're waiting there with everybody else that has other issues or needs or whatever. So I like that it's like it helps space everybody out.
I think we waited maybe 10 or 15 minutes at the concierge desk. We went to the one outside of Dark Universe. So we were kind of towards the back of the park. The other ones were closer to the front entrance, so may have been a little bit longer. But it was pretty quick.
Yeah. They scanned all of our tickets to
Yep.
link up with it as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it went pretty smoothly. Like Haley and I had an experience with another agent a few years ago where she had to wait in the regular guest services line. I mean, that took like 30-40 minutes. Like that was because they were dealing with they were dealing with everything
Yeah.
else at
I
one
do-
location.
I do believe they now have a dedicated IAC line at the other two parks. At least that's what I was told.
I hope
Um,
that's the truth because
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because
you're-
you're obviously you're
You
getting
can't
the
wait in long
pass because you
lines.
can't wait in the queues. So
That
why
was the
would
whole the irony of the whole thing where I'm like, you're literally waiting to get a pass saying that you have a reason that you can't wait in a long line and now you have to wait in a long line to get that pass so you don't wait in long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope
Yeah.
that's the case because I feel like the experience we had was pretty good.
Yeah. And if you are going to be applying for the pass or need the pass, you can apply for it ahead of time. But if you only have dated tickets, you have to get it the morning of your first park day. If you have an annual pass, then you can get it anytime. But yeah, they would not let us get it early. It had to be the morning we got to the park. They would give it to us, and it was dated for that day only. So keep that in mind as well.
Good to know. Yeah, because I feel like that's because I know we had talked about that too. Like, oh, maybe you get it early and
Yeah.
Optimize time. No.
Nope, you can't optimize time. You have to go wait.
you have to go wait, but hopefully it'll be quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially and like that's another like thing for early park admission entry whatever is that like you can spend a little bit of that time doing that and get ahead of everybody else.
Wasting your
Yes.
not wasting
Exactly. Yeah, wasting your time. You're waiting in line. You're wasting time.
Yeah. I do like that they have those kiosks at the it's essentially like instead of just having a single guest services at the front, period. Having them sprinkled throughout I mean it's essentially Disney's Blue Umbrellas, but in
I was gonna say, yep.
Yeah.
buildings. Which is nice for them too, because then they're not
Team members aren't outside baking in the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so as of right now, and again, this pretty much is going to carry into at least right now for the park opening. There's only 2 lands that are open during the early park entry, and that is going to be Super Nintendo World and Celestial Park. In those, I mean, all the rides are essentially, technically open. Well, no, I take that back. Most of the rides in those 2 lands are open. So you have Stardust Racers in Celestial Park, and then Super Nintendo. The carousel I don't think that was open. I know it's not on the list, and I don't believe it was open when we were there. And not like for early park. Yeah. So then in Super Nintendo, it's
Bowser's,
Minecart, and Yoshi.
Yeah.
We
Only Bowser's and Minecart were supposed to be. I don't know that Yoshi's was supposed to.
I know Minecart and Bowser's were
they
both
were down. Yeah.
on our early park entry. Yeah.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
So they're listed for being opening.
Yeah, they're supposed to be. Yeah, they're on the list. So like this is what we were saying. We're like, yeah, like we were there during like preview, so like we didn't get the full experience, which was fine because we were very much happy to walk around. Like we were like, okay, the rides are closed. Let's just go walk around. Like I don't think any of us were really upset about it.
No.
Like
I will say if you are a theme park nerd, a video game nerd, the entrance to Super Nintendo World is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and fair warning, like this should be very obvious for this episode. Spoilers ahead.
yeah.
Spoilers. This is not the episode. Stop. Put this on pause. Save it for after you've gone.
If you don't want to, yeah. Because we all went in mostly unspoiled. Like we saw stuff, but I know like I don't think any of us watched the rides or anything.
I watched the heck out of everything.
I watched the lands. I didn't want
I
to see the
did not.
rides.
Watched the heck out of everything
Yes.
before I knew that we were going to be able to go to previews, and I was like, I just want to experience it.
I was under the
Like,
delusion
no,
I was gonna hang out till
I'll get
October.
it by then.
Nope.
Yeah.
I was like, I won't see any spoilers till October. It'll be fine. It worked out because I didn't have to wait till October.
Yeah. And we
But-
all almost cried getting the call that we got a preview too.
Screamed.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was jumping up and down in the grocery aisle.
I was driving home from work when Haley called me. She's like, have you looked at your phone? I'm like, well, I'm driving. So funny story. No, I haven't. And then she's like, we're going. And I was like, what? And then we cried when we got there. So, excitement all around. But yeah, well, it's funny because the video I have walking in the land, Brooke's in front of me and her face, you're just like,
Well, it's wild. Like
it is.
you are the portals are a fantastic addition because it just makes you feel like you are walking into that world, and that is like it's just
It's very,
I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
it's a very
Like,
good barrier, essentially, like
yes.
or additional space. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, like you are in that world and there is nothing that's not themed in that once you are through the portal before you exit that
For-
area.
For all of it.
Everything.
Yeah.
The
It's
the
insane.
one thing with this, so you go up through the pipe, I guess. Is that technically what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that I saw, and again, I obviously did not avoid all spoilers, but I saw on TikTok because I'm thinking now when we go with Lucas, like strollers. So, and then also hand in hand with that is accessibility. In my notes, and I'm just gonna say it because the biggest thing about this land is lots of steps. Holy shit, that is in my notes because there are so many steps. They make it accessible. There are elevators, there are ramps, there are things.
Kind of.
Yeah, I like so like they have a separate portal
Over
pipe
to-
that you can walk through, but then you're going to elevators or there's just more steps. And I know on the rides there's steps. And it's just like
This whole
just
is on 2 levels. You enter at one level, it's got Bowser's Challenge, and then you go down and it's Yoshi's, and then another area is Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah. But Yoshi's, you enter the queue on the bottom floor, but then you have to go up to the second level
Not about that.
to get on the ride.
Yeah.
And obviously there's elevators for accessibility, but yeah, this section of the park had the most stairs I have ever seen.
it
Like,
was I'm just like trying to
We
think.
thought that when we went in the accessibility side, because we wanted to see what it was going to be like for people, what the experience would be, we are like, oh, we're just going to walk straight in. And it was like, oh no, there's elevators.
Or steps.
So let's go up.
or another set of stairs.
Yeah.
The nice thing is that they did theme that accessibility or stroller entrance, so you still get the experience of the portal before you get to the elevators, which I thought was just great thinking on their part.
Yeah, and I love that too because you think Super Mario, most kids are gonna want to go, so the kids are gonna want to see it, and then obviously, just keeping any that has accessibility needs, like obviously they need to be included as well, but just especially for this land, mostly the kids. All the other lands are, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of steps throughout this entire park, there really are, but 80% are in Super Mario or Super Nintendo. It was a lot. And there's no shade. There is no shade in this park. There's no chance for there to be shade either because
It's supposed to be themed
video game.
to the video game. Yeah, you feel like you're in the video game.
You do?
That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's so much like, even if you watch the videos and want to spoil it, quote unquote, for yourself, like it is such a different experience doing it yourself. And it feels bigger than like, because I saw a couple videos of people going through the portal and entering the land. But when we did it ourselves, I was like, this is so much bigger than I imagined even watching someone else do it. Like,
that was my concern. I don't want to say concern. That was my hang up with this land when we did our video before this. I was like, that was the one thing that the land that I was worried I was going to feel claustrophobic, because I feel like even the one in Hollywood is kind of feels that way. And I agree, like, yeah, like looking even at the videos here, being in there, I'm not going to say I felt spacious, because you, especially if you're on that bottom level, you're still feeling it, but it didn't feel as, I did not feel like I was crawling out of my skin. Like I felt like I was going to feel it. I didn't, still felt a little cramped, but it wasn't, I didn't feel uncomfortable.
It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how it is with the crowds,
True.
because there are a lot of interactive areas to this. So you can buy power-up bands, and oh my God, the amount of interactivity in this land.
Everywhere. Even in the lines.
And
Yeah.
kids are going to be very excited, and they're going to be like doing the
Oh,
thing.
they're going to be running,
And then running across to another one.
bolting in front of people. They were already
Germ
doing it.
City.
Just keep your eyes open, because I feel like someone's going to end up like not paying attention, and the kid's going to cut in front, and someone's going to
Yep.
eat it.
Yeah.
If they haven't already.
Yeah, it definitely has to have happened. Some skin knees have happened in Super Nintendo for sure. With that being said, too, it is a very overstimulating land. So if you are someone who gets overstimulated every once in a while or all the time, just limit your time there. I feel like Donkey Kong was better. I feel like it was
a little bit more spread out or open.
And it was, yeah, because you're not enclosed in.
I didn't feel like it was as loud in Donkey Kong either.
That too. Yeah, because there's like the video game noises going on top of people talking, on top of the rides, on top of everything.
Yeah.
So it definitely can be overwhelming. So just take that into consideration. But yeah, I thought the rides were fine. We did minecart. It was fine. We did Yoshi. It was fine.
Also, Yoshi is an interactive ride. So when you press the buttons, you have
push
to press the buttons. You don't just
they're not touch.
I tried. I thought it was a tap. I was pushing.
I did the same thing.
Thank you, Brooke. I know Haley's like, you have to push them. And I'm like, I thought you said. And she's like, no, yours aren't lit up. See how mine are lit up? Yours aren't lit up. And I was like, well, I'm tapping them. She's like, what do you mean you're tapping them? You need to push. And I'm like, they go down like that much.
It's like, and it's a hard button, so you can't tell.
Thank you.
That it goes down unless
Haley, you're outnumbered on
really press.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's my neurospiciness. My brain flavor. I was like, what? Why do you guys not understand this?
Just hard to push. That's all. It wasn't whatever. So
it wasn't a button with any give. Like if it had given a little bit,
it was very small. Yeah. I pressed like multiple times because I wasn't sure if it had pressed down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just like,
do that.
Tapping it. I'm like, why isn't this working?
I figured it out by like the third one, and then there was no point because, yeah.
Haley told me by the second, and then at that point I was pushing it, and I guess I was too late. Whatever.
I also thought that you just hadn't read all of the like instruction signs in
the
line, so I was trying to be like, hey, just so you know, there's a thing that you can do here. I don't know that it's going to do anything, but
I was too busy counting all the steps we were going up.
That was the one thing about the express line is I felt like we didn't really have time to read those instruction boards as we were walking through.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do a good job of verbally saying, like, they did say that it was an interactive ride and there was a voice over, like, as you're waiting in line to board, but like it wasn't super like obvious.
Clear. Yeah. And now that you're saying that too, I'm thinking if you're getting on with kids, I'm going to tell you right now, not having been to a theme park with Lucas yet, I'm not going to be listening to that. I'm going to be focusing on getting him in the car and getting him to sit down and focusing on getting him strapped in and we're ready to go. That's what I'm going to be focused on. Not you telling me instructions and I got to push the button that doesn't button.
Yeah, so, but it won't matter. They'll just be like involved in or engrossed in seeing everything else. Sorry, that just reminded me also getting into the carts. Universal, I don't know if you guys noticed this because we didn't talk about it. They're moving sidewalks to get into the rides on in this park in particular. Like I have no issue with any other Universal park. I was having trouble like staying straight and getting into
They were moving a little fast.
Yeah.
Like a little faster than normal.
I thought it was because it was like the ride vehicle would grip on or clip onto the moving sidewalk, and it was like kind of a
It was a curved
it was like
line, so
yeah. And my brain
Yeah.
just could not get around that. I have no issue with any other theme park getting on the rides like that with the
I think we all struggled with like that and Monsters. I know we were like,
oh,
Yeah.
I was
do I get-
falling over.
I don't want to
100%.
be that person.
No.
Oh, so if you have some balance issues, just come
give
ready
them
for
a
that.
heads up. Well, and that's the thing too, with like other so if you can't do that kind of stuff, like at Forbidden Journey, what they'll do, and I'm sure Monsters is the same way, they load you at a different area and they'll pull one of the carts out and then they'll put yours in, like you'll load stationary. Or like any of the Omnimovers at Disney, they'll stop or they'll slow it down significantly and same kind of thing. So I feel like that's probably we didn't really see any of that, but that's
No.
typically what they'll do. So like don't knock it on it because
No, just cognizant. Just be cognizant.
exactly. And if you feel like you can't, like let a team member
No.
know and be like, hey,
It surprised me more because that wasn't something people
expecting it.
before. And
Yeah.
I've been to theme parks how many times in my life? So
Yeah. They were a little sped up. I think they were just trying to, again, they're trying to test that system. They're trying to break it. How can you
Yeah.
break it if you don't push it and get some more skin knees?
Yeah,
Broken
I do
wrist.
think, and we said this, we were talking about this earlier today. I think it was moving faster than it will during normal operating hours.
I wonder. It's got
Just,
to.
just test they were pushing everything to see what the limit was and to see
Pushing our limit of how good Haley's
Yeah.
balance is.
pushing our limits too. Come on. We can't do that.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. We have jumped the track.
Yes.
So after we went and saw that Minecart Madness was not operational, we were like, all right, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna go see the front of the park, or we're gonna go see Stardust Racers, see what the wait is for that. Looked over there, we're like, okay. And then we went back over to How to Train Your Dragon,
Which was now open.
which
Because that
now
was our hour early.
everyone else running through. So that was a stampede.
Mhm.
But it was at this land.
Still, even with that, so cool to walk into.
Gosh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Although if you were first thing in the morning, it is going to blind you looking up at the portal.
Yeah, the sun is right above it. Can't see anything.
So just don't look up.
I thought it was
Yeah.
so well with all of my pictures, and I look back at them, I'm like, you can see nothing.
Yeah.
That's why we circled back and got more pictures later in the day. I think after Harry Potter, after Stardust Racers, we're like, oh, the sun's not directly over top of it or behind it. Yeah.
In Florida. So we went into Isle of Burke, and Brooke and I rode Dragon Racers Rally. Keely was a little scaredy cat and didn't
I
go.
thought it was going to be more of a claw machine.
You
Claw
did.
machine.
So it's the idea of this ride is, yeah, exactly. It's like,
No, it's not that. I thought it was going to be that.
well, it is. Everyone's on their own individual thing, and
Yeah, well,
kind of like doing this.
no, well,
But you're supposed to be able to flap your wings so that you can do like barrel rolls or turn yourself in different
Yeah.
maneuvers apart from or in addition to the actual machine. Right.
Yes, if you don't do anything, you just glide along with the machine.
Yeah.
But
see, I could handle that. I thought you were talking. Anyway.
No.
Well, now I know, so I have to do it in October.
Now you know for next time.
But even if you did want to do the barrel rolls, it was
It's
hard.
so
We were-
hard. I couldn't. Haley and I were struggling so much. We couldn't. I wanted to barrel roll so bad. And by the time I finally got myself moving even just a little bit, the ride was over.
Yeah, I mean, it was only, I think I timed it because we kept watching it go and we're like, this is very short. Is this like a 30-second ride? We have no
Yeah.
time, apparently. It's 90 seconds. Like maybe closer to 2 minutes, but it's not a long ride.
That's
So
not enough
if
to
it
really
won't
get.
wait, I would not wait.
Yeah.
Would agree. I mean, we
Yeah.
all,
I'm not sad I didn't miss it because I got to walk around.
yeah, you got to walk around, but they also have lockers for your stuff. It's not like a tap to lock thing. It's essentially little cubbies, and the cast member, shoot, I almost said it correctly, team members will put a little sliding door over it,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
close it off when you're on, and then when you get off, you exit on the other side, and then they open
Yep.
it up on the other side. So that's fun. It felt very reminiscent of like Busch Gardens in the 1990s when I would
I was
take.
gonna say,
Six Flags.
I
Yeah.
think Hershey Park still does that. They don't have that. It's still the cubbies, the sliding door at the cubbies. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's
Which-
funny.
Is fine. It's just something I haven't had to deal with since I had actual money of my own.
Well, and like the rest of the park has the facial recognition lockers, and then this one's
Yep.
like, here's some cubbies and a sliding door.
Exactly. It was like, oh, okay. Well,
They
that's
hit their budget everywhere else.
I will say it was a lot quicker to use this method than the lockers.
Because you can just run up
Because
and
they
grab
would
it.
they would take the group that was going to get on the ride,
Yeah.
and that was it. It wasn't like as you were in line to get to the queue, and yeah, so it was a lot faster that way, and so
it was fine. And Keely got to meet the people that I wanted to meet while we were on the ride. So
No. That was when we were ordering food, and I just happened to get done before all of you somehow.
No, it was while we were
those
on.
were
It was
Mm-mm.
where
no,
to
it was
Keely.
food.
Yes.
It
It
was
was
food.
during food.
What?
Yeah.
Because you guys, I was
Why
talking to,
didn't you call me?
because you were in line
I'm still
waiting
in
for your
line.
mac and cheese cone.
I would have gotten out of line. Anyway, she met Rough Nut and Tough Nut.
I didn't meet them. I just saw them. But yeah. But so that's, yeah. So clearly we were very excited about the Roman characters. Again, I'm curious to see how they go once the park is at full capacity and fully open.
Yeah.
Because right now during previews, it's gone wonderfully. I think I've heard of no issues. I've only seen good things, good videos, people behaving.
We're
For
looking
now.
at you, people out there.
People behaving and not ambushing them or saying weird things or trying to find them in real life or anything weird like that. Let them do their jobs because they're all so good at it. And just, I think every interaction we had was, and every interaction that, we've all sent to each other on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, they're all just so good. They're all so good.
Yes.
They're phenomenal. The reason that Haley and Brooke didn't get to see them was because we were getting the infamous mac and cheese cones, which were very good.
Yeah, for Universal food.
For okay. I have a gripe, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about in other episodes. I'm not a fan of Universal food. I eat there, it's fine. To me, it's not on par with Disney. Yeah, it's not on par with Disney.
Not even close.
No, Epic Universe, changing my mind. Everything that I've had there, I am not going to say it was Disney, same as Disney, but it was very, very, very close. It was better than the other two parks.
Yeah.
Significantly, I think.
Except
for
the allergen version of food over at Cafe Siren. Whatever.
Yeah, well, it was different at
Place.
it was different at both locations. So for How to Train Your Dragon, we all mobile ordered.
It was
But
a nightmare.
since I had an allergen, they still sent me through the line of people who were paying with cash or didn't have a mobile device to order with.
That's why she took so long. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
the allergy line. Oh,
so yeah, there is no separate allergy line. And they don't send you to one of the normal windows. You have to go to that specific window. And then even if you mobile order, because you just put an allergy note on there, it doesn't say what your allergy is, unlike Disney where like you can order something and say dairy specific allergy, like this without dairy. It's not like that. You put an allergen note and then you have to talk to the chef and then you tell the chef what you're allergic to and then they go back and make it. So I not only did I have to wait in that long line of people who were ordering or had other people with allergies, whatever, it was one window, just one window, and it was only one person wide.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really take more than one person at a time, and they had to go back and make the food and bring it out to people after they ordered. So it did take a very long time, but I will say this was one of I do not like sometimes I don't like how Universal does allergens because sometimes it's not noted and it makes me really nervous. But this one they had put an allergy stick in that showed that they had made it separate. Um, so that was really helpful. There are other locations like the hotels where I've gotten food at before, and they did not mark my allergy food and that made me nervous. So this one was better than that. I had the grilled chicken and it was phenomenal for a theme park food. Like, great.
The Brussels sprouts were very good too.
Yes, thank you for eating my Brussels sprouts. Because I don't the texture thing.
So good.
In addition to, so I can't remember if we said we ended up going to Spitfire Grill instead of Hooligans, because Hooligans only had the mac and cheese cones. There wasn't anything that you would have been able to eat there, which is stupid. Or would have been stupid for us to go there.
Stupid you, Brooke. Stupid dairy allergy. Stupid.
How dare your body not like dairy?
So dumb.
But I think this is an area that Universal really does need to, and I know that we were in technical previews. This is an area they really struggle with, the mobile orders, because we all mobile ordered, and so was everyone else in the park, because there was not a place for you to order at the window except for Brooke's window, which I'm now learning about. But you would do the typical, like, okay, I'm here, start making my order, and it would immediately tell you that your order was ready, and to go then wait in line. So whereas like Disney, it's I'm here, start making my order, you would go around, you would still be free to not be standing in line the entire time. And then when it's ready, they would be go to window 1, 2, 3, whatever. This, it was, you walked up, a team member said, "Oh, have you already ordered? Okay, show me your number." You would show them your number, and they would just, I don't know if they just picked an arbitrary line. I think
they had notes. They had somehow that the numbers were correlating to the windows. I saw one of them like marking it off.
I asked her, I was like, is there a way, like, for in the future, like, is there a way for me to know which line to go to so that I don't have to bother you guys? And they were like, no, it's the last few numbers in your order tells us where to send you. And I was like, okay, well, that's silly. But even then, after waiting 30 minutes in line, after we had ordered, and I got to the front and told, like, I showed them my order. They did not have a way to look up what my order was there. I had to show, and they had to click and say,
yep, I had the same issue.
That they could show what the order was. And then, because everyone was showing, like, seeing these mac and cheese cones everywhere on the internet. It was a popular one. So I then had to step aside and wait a further 10 minutes for the PB&J cone to be made.
Yeah.
So they need to figure something out there, because that's not going to work when the masses are descending upon them.
And it's funny because once we all got done and kind of sat down, I looked back over, there was like nobody there. So I'm not saying
we went at like the busy time, but
still they need to be able to mitigate that. But so I think that was part of it. I also think, yeah, like you said, just Disney has that mobile ordering down. Universal, at the other parks, they've been trying to push it. I've had the same issues kind of happen, or just the app not working, or just they really haven't taken the time to get mobile ordering down. They're great with, if you, and we did this for dinner, we'll get to that in a minute. If you sit at your table and order from there, I've never had any issues with that. They have that in some of the restaurants at the other parks. That's great. But the mobile ordering, going up to a window, quick serve wise, they are not on the same level as Disney. I'm hoping they're getting that figured out. Especially, yeah, because I think even at that location, I think they even said that it was mobile order only, and I'm wondering if in Brooks line it could have been people with cash. I was like, I was kind of paying attention, but also because I was trying to figure out because I was next to Brooke, I was in the line next to her, so I could like see, and like it just was so slow. I mean, our lines were slow too. Just I don't know, but
even like we all ordered at the exact same time.
Yeah,
kind of, but we all ended up eating at different times.
I was done by the time Brooke got her food. I think Brooke, did you get your food before Brooke? Okay, I was done eating by the time either one of you got your food. And I don't eat fast either. Like I went and took pictures, I took videos, like I saw Rough Nut, Tough Nut, like I was doing things. Like I didn't just eat right away. Like I took a few. And then we did get a seat, which was good because Brooke, you did like cut yours. Like you couldn't, I mean, you could have walked around with your skewer. But he wanted to cut it. Be like a real Viking.
They placed right across from Spitfire to eat, so that was nice.
Yeah, and I wish they would expand that section.
There wasn't a lot of eating, I will say.
That morning, it was empty and it was nice, but I was like, by the time a lunch crowd hits,
Mead Hall definitely has more seating.
Yeah.
Than Spitfire.
And that's inside and like
yeah.
Yeah, I want to hit that next time. We'll go over our list. I mean, everything we didn't do, I think we want to do next time.
Yes.
Yeah. We did, however, manage to get onto Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which was super fun.
Yeah.
So fun. I would say that was similar to Hagrid's in terms of thrill.
Yep. The show aspect is less than Hagrid's, but very similar. I still like Hagrid's better, but that one was very, 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 very good. I think that was one of my, I would say, top like 3 rides of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I think one of my top 3 rides. Yeah.
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 It was good. And it wasn't too fast.
Yeah.
Like I think young, not super, super young.
If they can, the height requirements, if they can ride it, or if they're tall enough, they'll probably like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't super intense.
It would be like a good like first roller coaster. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe not.
Maybe second. No.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of people say Slinky Dog is a good intro coaster, and I don't think that's a good intro coaster.
No.
It has the drops, whereas this one doesn't really have like a drop.
You're truly gliding. Like you're kind of up and down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a launch, but it doesn't have a drop after the launch.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be a great intro.
Yeah.
Coaster.
Maybe not first, but definitely like early on. Agree.
Yes. Yep.
Agree. Yep. Yeah. Like it's a good like moderate one, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Moderate.
And they were playing I don't know if it was the full movie, but they were at least playing clips of the movies in the family waiting areas for this ride.
Yep. Oh, and this is the ride where we also had the first experience with the new lockers. So So like you were talking about with Haley with
Yes.
what's it called?
The
Rallies,
Sisters
right?
Rally.
Yeah, yeah. So this is different from the other parks. So the other parks you have to have your ticket. This one's facial recognition. They're not taking your picture for any people like that. It's facial recognition. You put your stuff in and then you come out on the other side. This is for all the big rides where you storm. They're all like this. And I think this is great is you go on the other side and get your bag from that way. So people that are boarding are on one side. When you're getting off, you're on the other side. So there's still people in front of you, but not
Yeah.
everybody going different ways.
And like as a lanyard person at the other parks, I hate having to put the lanyard in my shirt
Yeah.
to ride the rides because
Yep.
like the plastic just itches against your
It
skin
sticks. Yep. Or
and
gets caught in your
sticks to
bra.
you.
Well,
Yeah. But like this,
Velocicoaster, mine came out and was right here. It was flapping on my arm on Velocicoaster. I was so scared. And they let you take it on. You went through the metal detectors. That's what was funny with Stardust Racers is they didn't let you take it. But like Velocicoaster, they're like, hey, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because you need it for your locker.
yeah, yeah. But this time you literally do not need anything but your face.
Which I
Which
hope
like if you don't have that, I don't know what happened to you.
don't.
Yeah.
We got bigger problems.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But they did have team members there for if there were any locker issues too.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I always like.
I don't want to remember like they had it. I can't remember if it was just colors and letters.
There was colors and
Letters and numbers.
Yeah. So
Oh no, it was colors and numbers. Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
1 through 1,000. It was like yellow E 1 through 40 or something. You know.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
go on purple D is 1 through 40.
Just remember your section that you're in. You don't have to remember your locker number, just at least your section.
Because once it scans your face, it will pop open that locker so you know exactly which one to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really easy system compared to having to need your ticket.
Yeah. Much better. I hope they implement it at the other parks. Even if they don't have the dual-sided, at least the facial recognition's a lot better.
And I felt like they were always in more wide open spaces. Like when you're going on Green Dots, you can barely walk in that locker space.
Even Hagrid's, it's in the train station and you're cramped. Well, they have 2 separate spots, but still you feel cramped or you don't know about the second one or it's just, the Gringotts one, that I get anxiety on that one.
That one was not fun for me.
You can't even have like 2 like average sized people walking past each other. Like there's no way.
And
So
these lockers were bigger than the free lockers in the other parks as well.
Yep.
So you didn't feel like I could sit my water bottle upright and there was still room on top for just whatever.
More stuff.
Yeah. If you really need that much space. But like, they were bigger and it was much easier and open space to get to them. Like there was a couple times where we might have had to wait a minute or two for someone in front of us to get their locker open, but I really didn't feel like I was crammed in little spaces like with the other parks.
Exactly. And so they did the same thing with Stardust Racers, which I really liked was they kind of, and again, we'll see when the park's at not full capacity, but at regular occupancy. They had like groups of people go and you would put your stuff away and then you go upstairs, go through the metal detector, and then you would pick your side. So and again, opposite side to pick up. But I like that again, it was kind of having just small groups of people go and put their stuff away. Because again, they have to account for everybody upstairs and again, more stairs going through the metal detectors. So but that was our next ride was Stardust Racers.
Going on metal detectors with that. You get your lockers before you go through the metal detectors. Take off anything and everything that means anything to you that is metal that could possibly fly off. Pins, jewelry,
phone. Don't take your phone.
Do not take your phone.
No, they won't. Yeah, they won't let you. They were making people throw things away, or you could go get back in line.
Yeah. You could go back downstairs, get another locker, and come back up and get in the back of the line for
but I mean, like, there were people that were throwing away like cute little things from Super Mario or from Super Nintendo World, like little pins, and then
I
like
saw someone throw away their anniversary pin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the girl in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
She's like, I'm not going downstairs just for this.
Okay, then yeah,
And
throw it
getting out
away.
of line.
They told you. They told
Yeah.
you. And if you're a Universal person, you know the deal with these things. You know if there is a metal detector, you can't bring anything. Now I will say, I think we all had our Apple Watches on,
Apple.
which was fine. And again, this is the trick at any of the metal detectors at Universal, whether you're going to City Walk, through the hotels, whatever, always cover your put your hand over and hold it out in front of you, because they're going to know that's what you're blocking out, is that's what's going to ping it off. So you can wear that, like we all wore ours, and that was fine because they're on your wrist, they're secure. But like, we didn't take our phones, we took nothing. I think Brooke had her, I think you had your glasses. I don't think
Yeah.
I didn't have my sunglasses. Oh, did you not take your glasses?
No, I can't see
Okay.
without them. So yeah.
Well, I don't know that, Brooke. I don't know what your eyesight is. I
blind.
don't know what your level is. My bad.
I'd be able to see your faces when we were standing in line, and that's it.
Okay. Well, so you
Everything
can
else
take glasses. I saw people with sunglasses, so they're not gonna, again, and they don't know if they're prescription, so they're not gonna say no. But yeah, so just put everything in the locker. It's fine. Tickets too, lanyards and tickets. Put them, because you really don't need them in this park. Put
No.
them away. Everything away. I love Stardust Racers. I liked it better than Velocicoaster. I don't think that's a
I
popular opinion.
Smoother than Velocicoaster.
It's also because it's new.
Like,
I honestly think that is my most favorite roller coaster I've ever ridden.
Yeah.
Like it
And we
was.
rode it during the day, not even at night.
Yeah, and it's gonna be better at night.
and we don't know what the yellow side is like.
Go to
I
the
thought
yellow
we
side at
did-
night.
I thought we did yellow, not green.
We did green.
No, we did yellow.
We did yellow.
I swear to God.
No, Brooke's right. We did yellow. Now, because we couldn't remember when we got up there which one. So that's the thing too. Is there? I don't know if the intensity is different. I've heard mixed things on whether that's the case
Yeah.
or not.
The track itself
Is like a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of like go over and under each other and crisscross.
Yeah. So,
I wanted to do green because Skylar said it was terrifying.
but we couldn't remember when we got up there. We've all frozen. We're like, what did Skylar say? And we couldn't check because we didn't have her phone. And I think yellow was shorter. So yeah, that was a great ride. At nighttime, it's really cool. I want to go.
The lights at nighttime on Stardust Racers is just so cool.
Yep. And his dual launches. Well, they have both launch at the same time, but there's two launches. I guess there's two launches, not dual.
Yes, there are two dual launches.
Yes. Okay, there we go. So I was like half right. Yeah, no, it's a really cool coaster. I don't know what else to say about it. It was really cool.
It's very intense.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
this is not a good intro coaster.
no.
Not even a little bit.
Not even close. You could ride it if you were an intro to a roller coaster person, unless if you were a full-fledged adult. Don't ride it.
No.
Or maybe you do. Maybe you'll love it.
I will say that like my intro to upside down coasters and whatnot was Dueling Dragons at Universal. So
I miss it. But this is what what this is. This is their homage to Dueling Dragons, since we had to get Hagrid's, which I do love, so I feel torn about it. Anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole.
also it wasn't dueling anymore, so the fun aspect was
Yeah. Well.
and Stardust Racers duels. There you feel like you could touch the people on the other coaster. I would assume they have measured for all people.
They have the space things that they put, the dummies that they put in there, the big circle things. When you test, okay, maybe that's just a me thing. When they test roller coasters, they have they're dummies and they're big halves. Look it up. They did it on Tronalog. I'm shocked you didn't see it. They have, I don't know how high it goes. It's probably like 4 or 5 feet.
Okay.
And it's a big circle of like, I don't know, something. And it's testing the height of like, if people have their arms up, like they're making sure it's not hitting anything.
That makes me glad because my dad is 6'4" and he's definitely a
Yeah, so they probably put up how, yeah. So I don't know, they're probably more than 4 feet, probably like 12
I
feet
don't-
clearance, whatever.
I didn't feel like we could put our hands up on this coaster though.
No, I
Like
did not want to.
I
Mm-mm.
didn't want to. I was terrified of
well,
I was.
like
Oh,
yeah,
also
but
don't wear a
it
hair
was
clip,
such a big like
Yeah.
which I like.
not harness, but like
Yeah,
whatever
I
it's
like
called.
that better because Velocicoaster, you have a little lunch tray and you're holding on the lunch tray and you're going upside down on top of water for 50 seconds and you have a little lunch tray holding you in. So I like feeling
Yeah.
a little more secure.
This
Um,
one was you felt very secure. Your feet
yes,
did not. Most people's feet didn't touch the ground. You kind of like lifted up into the seat.
which I didn't hate that. I thought I was going to hate that and I was okay with it. I think. I don't even honestly, I was like the whole time.
I mean, we got off the ride and we were speechless.
I was shaking, but I always
It
shake when I
was.
get off the big coasters like that. It's the adrenaline.
I was laughing the whole time because I was like, this is incredible, like
It
mind
was
blowing.
it was really good. Wear hair tie, don't wear a hair clip because by the time we were on the last like 10 seconds of the ride, my hair was hanging on by like that much and I'm holding it because I couldn't get it out of my head because I couldn't we were spinning and twisting and so wear a hair clip or don't wear a hair clip, wear a hair tie.
Yep.
That would be my suggestion because I usually wear hair clips. So yeah.
Yep.
But it was a good ride. Okay, now on to my favorite land where I'm gonna live forever and ever and ever, and I'm just gonna live there. Yeah, Dark Universe is
I can't wait to see Dark Universe during Halloween.
if they
Yeah.
don't do something, I'm gonna be sad.
They've got to do something. This land with Burke, I think, really excels in the roaming entertainers.
Yes.
Are everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're all phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like their character, like, and I was never a person who got into Frankenstein or
Mhm.
any of the monsters from Universal. I've never been a horror nothing.
Yeah.
Do not make me watch a horror movie. I will sob the entire time. I will go to haunted houses all day and night. Like we did Halloween Horror Nights and it
Oh
was
yeah, you will.
great. But do not make me watch a horror movie. So like I didn't really know a ton and like I didn't have any sort of connection to any of the characters in this land. But when I tell you it was it's probably tied for my second spot.
Oh, did you see her face? She went tied for second.
Yeah, right. I was like first, second.
Girl, if you don't know what my first one is, we have issues.
No, it's fine.
Your first
Fine.
one. We don't
No,
like.
but like it exceeded like I had no expectations because I've just never been into those characters and it was incredible. And like we spent so much time and I think we went in there like 3 separate times during like we went there in the morning, in the afternoon, we went there at night to see it all lit up. Like
Yeah.
and I was never like, oh my gosh, we have to go back. Like, no, I
We
wanted
wanted to go.
we wanted to keep going back. We wanted to keep finding the characters. And it was
And seeing it at night, like
And we weren't even there when it was fully dark. Like it was still like looking back at the
yeah.
pictures and videos, it was still kind of light compared to like the rest of our night. It was still light out. And it was still so cool.
Yeah.
It was
And
so
the
cool.
burning blade, the
Yep.
that the windmill is really cool. And again, we weren't even there when it was fully dark.
Yeah, because we
Like,
saw that I was what like 5 or 6, I think. It was
yeah.
like getting dark. It was like dusk.
Yeah.
The cool thing about that, and again, I wanted minimal spoilers for this, but this is a good heads up if you're going and you want to see it, you'll catch it. The trend again is as when we were there, we noticed the bells were going in the village and we're like, what does that mean? And then there was a storyteller that we were watching and she's telling like all like the classic monster stories. That was really cool at the violin. Oh my god, it was like like Haley and I were like
faces, her facial expressions, like
she was good. I really liked her. So somebody asked and I can't remember exactly what she said. And we were like, what the hell? And then throughout the day, like Brooke said, we just kept going back. We pieced together
Yeah.
when the bells would go off, that meant the burning blade was going to go off. And we timed it about every 15 minutes. It seemed that
Yeah.
it would ignite. So if you want to see it, just if you miss it, I don't know that there was exact, like, you know, at the top of the hour, quarter after, bottom of the hour, quarter of. I don't know if it's. I think maybe it is.
It definitely did it at the top of every hour.
Yeah.
And then probably about every 15 or so minutes after
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
give or take.
And
But
you
yeah.
could see like the ignition start,
You could smell the gas.
just like the dragon and
Mhm.
oh my gosh,
Diagon Alley. I know
Yes.
it's
Thank
switching
you.
so many gears.
Thank you. So like when it's about to start.
So the first time we were sitting outside at 3 because we were trying to get the virtual queue. Hopefully that's a thing of the past. We'll touch on that in a minute, but like I think that's the thing of the past, thank God. And I could smell, and I was like, why does this smell like gas? And then the next thing I knew it was good, but I was too busy trying to get the non-existent virtual queue, but I saw it going off. So yeah, no, the whole land is just, I mean, I want to talk about it, but I feel like I'm going to take up so much time talking about it. Like all the, Curse of the Werewolf was,
He absolutely loves it. So
that's what I could do
Yeah.
a whole 2-hour episode just talking about it. Curse of the Werewolf was fine.
Curse of the Werewolf was short, but it was fun. I have seen
Yes.
things that said if you're in like a fairly light, or no, I'm sorry, if it's a two-sided loading vehicle, so there's 2 people on this side and 2 people on this side facing opposite ways. If there's no one on the other side, your car is just gonna be spinning and spinning and spinning because it goes based on
It's a weight distribution thing. Yeah. I mean, it was fine.
short. It was fun.
It was fine. Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't wait an hour for it. I would wait 30 minutes. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably even go 45 minutes in the regular queue because it looked like there was a lot more theming over there.
Yeah.
But the theming overall was fun.
Yeah. It was fine.
I know you said you could
Theming in the actual coaster itself, but it was like at the very beginning, and then you coaster, and then at the very end.
Yeah.
And Wolfman was in the bridge that you went under twice, but you can't even see him.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't even realize.
I didn't. Nope.
I did not catch that.
When we were going up and then the rollback and then back up. Yep, he's like, yeah.
So you could do a whole 2-hour episode of Dark Universe. I could do a whole 2-hour episode of Interactions with Igor. I love him so much.
I think that was, for all 3 of us, I think that was the highlight.
100%.
It was
Like,
the highlight.
He's phenomenal. Like, and we even saw 2 different team actors doing it. And both of them just like
on how to portray him. Like you had the one that was the very viral physical comedy, and you know
when you see like everywhere.
Yeah.
Flipping the gloves off
down on the ground, and then we had one that was kind of more similar to a little bit older, more similar to how you portray in Monsters Unchained, I would say.
Yes. Yeah. But still similar, but they have like their own personalities, which is what I kind of liked. But I love, everybody even said like, I just love how it's like an unspoken thing that like Igor's just like a girly pop, like totally just like it's still like all of them have that same thing, and it's hysterical. And I think our biggest thing was we didn't want to miss him because we wanted to see him so bad, and we knew he was by the cart behind Curse of the Werewolf, and then also right when you walk into the land, he's typically right there.
Yep.
Or the graveyard area right before you enter itself.
Yep. So those are the 2 spots we've seen him. That's typically where he'll be. So if you want to see him, hang out there. Again, hopefully after previews, this continues because that would be great.
Yeah.
I think that was the
go
highlight
see
of all
him.
this.
Just go. I mean, even if you're just walking past, just stop for a second.
Yeah,
like
just watch him for like a few minutes.
He's so funny, and like yeah, I love Igor.
Kids. So good at interacting with kids and making the land not seem terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Which it isn't, and it isn't terrifying. It's
No.
it's spooky.
Be a lot more spookier. Spooky. Yeah. A lot more
Yeah,
spooky.
yeah, it's just like spooky, not scary.
Yeah.
It's like Mickey's not so scary. It's just spooky.
It's a little spookier.
It's much more spookier than that, but like not terrible. I mean, there's like staked vampires with like blood dripping down, but like they're not doing anything. They're just hanging out.
Totally.
I don't know. Lucas is gonna like them. And then the other ride is Monsters Unchained, very similar to Forbidden Journey over at Islands of Adventure, but I really liked it. I thought it was super cool. I think I know I sent you guys that video of like a ride through of it because there's just so much happening that it's hard to like catch everything. So I think riding it a few times will help you kind of catch everything. The queue was really cool. Again, we missed a little bit going through Express, but again, like I hate saying this, but like I would be okay with missing some of the queue to just not wait in the line. Like as much as I want to see it and I know what I missed in that queue.
Did we even miss any? I don't think we did.
So the only
there's like a study for Victoria Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
And they have Frankenstein's corpse and has an X-ray going up and down. We did miss that. That was the only thing that I was kind of upset with missing. But like again, I don't want to wait in the line. So like
yeah.
I can go see that at some point.
It's like a mixture of screens and animatronics.
Yeah.
So if you are prone to motion sickness, like I am, this ride will get you.
Yeah.
You can be laying flat. Sometimes you can be leaning forward. Like
Backwards.
You are moving just as much as the screens and the animatronics around you are moving. So I only get motion sick on rides where there's a screen and I don't have anything stable to have my eyes focused on. So like Guardians, I'm fine. At Epcot at Disney, Flight of Passage gets me every single time, unless I'm at the edge and I can see the wall.
Yep.
So like not a ton of rides make me motion sick. So if you are prone to motion sickness, this ride is gonna get you. Just beware. Maybe if motion sickness pills work for you, do it because it is really fun to experience. But yeah, it's a lot of motion.
It is. And I don't know, it's a cool ride. I
wouldn't skip it unless like you really, really get sick. I would take the motion pill and just do it because it's worth it.
Or like do it at the end of the night when you're like, it doesn't matter if you end up getting sick or you feel off. You're not gonna do anything else.
See, for like once we hit the fresh air after the ride, I was fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, just beware. Make a little mental note.
Well.
And then the other interactive thing that goes on with that ride in the land itself, and I missed it. And then we were trying to figure it's another thing where like I was trying to get the timing down. So there's like a power surge that goes up to the castle, and this is at nighttime, and then it makes the whole land kind of like go dark a little bit. And we missed it. I saw not the castle, but I saw, and I was like, "What's going on?" And there was like sound effects and all that, and we like missed it. And then we waited around. I'm like, "All right, we're not gonna catch it." So, but I want to go back and see that.
Also have like the lights in the shop underneath would be kind of flickering a little bit or dimming and going up the entire day, because there was a point at which I was like, well, am I seeing things? Am I starting to like
I was too busy trying to find my hat.
Let's go. Like, oh, that's right. Electricity. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is really well themed. There's just so much in there. And again, I'm not going to talk about it because I will spend hours talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wraps up that. So the last land that we went to was Harry Potter and
Brooke's favorite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
We can have a difference of opinion.
One of you is right and one of you is wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, exactly. Brooke is wrong. I am right.
Anyway,
I'll let you have it.
like 1920s Paris, which is the history nerd in me was just in love with. And that's my 2 cents. Anyway.
2 cents.
That's all I'm going to say for the entire part. Okay.
I just love that Hufflepuffs kind of got a little bit more of the spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how, because I missed it.
Well, it's just all... Yeah, Newt is a Hufflepuff, and this is based off of like the 1920s Paris in Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like all of the creatures that are like throughout, and the interactive wand areas that have the creatures with them. Like,
that was my favorite. That saved the land for me, quite honestly. This is the land I was least excited for. That literally that part is what bumped it up for me, for sure.
That, and then the Flu Network. That was just yeah. That was, I mean, I felt like I was literally walking into the movie.
Oh yeah. And again, I have that video of you like
like I couldn't contain it. Okay, just let me have it.
Cool. It was so cool, and just being in there and like just the atrium of it, like not realizing like this, like you see the picture and you're like, oh, it's pretty big, and then being in there, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
A person that I've shown the pictures to, I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's like 2 or 3 floors tall. This is a thing.
This is the other area where I cried, because that was just, I mean, those movies just mean a lot to me from growing up. So having it feel like I was literally in the movie, I mean, goosebumps. It was incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
loved
it was
it.
cool. And even though we didn't get to ride it,
Yep,
that part
It
was
was-
still fine. We were not, I don't think, super disappointed. I think we had expectations and we were like,
yeah. We
We'll
kind
ride
of
it another
knew
time.
that the virtual queue was hard to get.
impossible, not even hard, just
Yeah.
like
I think, Keely, you said one time you had a time show up.
for like one person for like,
But for the rest of us, I don't think a single time showed. Or for the other, because there was 3 drops.
Yeah.
We tried all 3 times, all 3 of us on our own devices, and I think only one time did a time frame show up for Keely out of, and so that's 9 different, 1 out of 9.
yeah,
Like,
and it didn't even work.
but-
It wasn't even successful. But
virtual queue is gone.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I don't think they're gonna bring it back. I think enough people have
No.
complained, hopefully.
Yeah. And they had set expectations that it would most likely go away with the public opening of the park anyway. They were just limiting it because of the technical previews.
Yeah. Which again is part of what, and I think all the 3 of us understood that very well of what we were walking into. So that's why I don't think any of us were like, I mean, obviously you want to ride it, but I don't think any of us were like trip ruined. We were like I went in very much like, we're not going to ride it. Like
Yeah. I was hopeful.
Yeah. I'm not going to like, we're old pros at this. Like saying like out loud, I was like setting expectations, but inside I was like, we got this in the bag. We're awesome. We can do this.
I had 0. I know how Universal is with the virtual queues, with everything. Look at the Grinch virtual queue. It was the same thing. It went the same exact way with the Grinch when they did that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No expectations.
But the part is that the kind of the actual queue starts inside the atrium. So you go through the metro, go through the Flu Network to be able to see the entire atrium, and then like right by the Fountain of Magical Brethren, is that what it's called? Whatever. The fountain. Sorry, my nerd showing up. Right by the fountain is where you enter the actual ride queue. And it looks like they're going to be keeping that up now, even with the virtual queue being dropped. So you should still be able to get in there and experience that. I don't know how they're going to experience going through the fireplaces when the masses show up, because you did really have to kind of pause and wait for it to reset in order to get the full
Mhm.
experience instead of just go, 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 go.
Unless you walked through as a group.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But
us
had
us
the
Harry Potter nerds were trying to all experience it ourselves.
yeah.
There was a pause between it resetting.
But I mean, there would be a pause between the group. Like, even if all three of us had gone as a group, we would have had to
Yeah.
wait for the group in front of us to go and for it to
Yep. Yeah.
go. But it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, no, it was
That's
cool. I'm
great.
glad we at least got to experience that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And mine was fun. And the bartenders were very personable
Yes.
and and I loved them.
I am very upset that I didn't get giggle juice.
I think they
Or
have it
giggle-
now.
I know I saw someone
saw
have it
those.
and I was so mad.
It's fine. We'll get it in October.
Yep.
They were just perfecting the formula for it. It wasn't how they wanted it to. So it's better for you in October to get it and have it be perfect than have
Yep.
it.
I honestly appreciated that. They said it wasn't, having the effect that they wanted it to. So they took it away just to perfect it and then they brought it back. So now we'll get to experience it in October.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Oh, there was cool interactions other than wands in this part of the park.
There were talking portraits.
Kaylee's like, of course she's bringing this up.
I had it in the notes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can interact with portraits in this
That was cool.
part of the park, and it was really. And I don't know if this will change once it's at more full capacity, but they did spend quite a bit of time interacting with us.
That was the
that I-
video I had was like 3 minutes.
And that wasn't even all of it.
Because I took most of it, and then I know Haley, I think, started recording at some point too. So like,
Yeah, I did later too.
yeah.
I think I have at least a 2-minute long video.
Yeah.
Um,
And they noticed that we had wands and had us do our wand like
mhm.
Dagon, Cadogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just that exceeded my expectations for this part of the park. It was great.
Yep. Oh, we did get wands because all of us kind of, I think we all kind of walked in hoping we were going to get wands. Maybe not all 100% set on getting wands. Maybe it was just me that was not 100% set on getting one.
I figured I was going to.
Yeah, I think we all walked into Cosmes and we're like,
Yeah, we're doing this.
these are beautiful.
I feel like once Brooke was like, well, it's between these two. I'm like, fuck, no, I need to get one too. Because Brooke's like already like ready to go. And now I got to get one. And then Haley was like, but look at these. And I'm like, yeah, this is we're all getting one.
Well, I walked.
No, I'm not. I'll just use theirs. It's fine. I don't need to spend $80. And then I walked
It
in.
wasn't $80 though.
It was
Yeah,
70.
but I thought all of them in there were going to be $80.
It was like 65.
It was, yeah.
Plus tax.
It was like 69. Don't. But it just like I walked in and I was like, I'm in love with this. This is beautiful. I couldn't walk away.
Yeah.
But
Well, and they had unique wands that are only available at that wand shop.
Mhm.
And
aren't all the second gen, so they aren't all going to
Nope.
work with the app, but they will all work with all of the interactive spell areas in Ministry of Magic and over in Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley. So
And they'll tell you which ones. You'll see the signs of which ones are the second gen ones. None of us got the second gen because they were like, they were fine.
they just weren't.
I didn't think they were.
Yeah, they were fine.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything unique about those
Mhm.
wands.
Mhm.
And I think we all wanted something
Pretty.
yeah, basically.
Mine look like Dark Universe, but
Mine looks
depends.
I love mine.
I know.
And we'll use them again in October. It's fine.
Jump right now and run over to my desk and grab, but I'm not going to do that.
I know.
Mine's all the way downstairs. On
I
my
thought
bookshelf.
about getting it before we started recording, and then I was like, no, just sit down.
Be normal.
Yes.
Be normal. Have you met that? Normal.
That doesn't happen here.
No.
So we did not get to do the circus show that is out of my brain right now.
Okay.
Arcanus.
There we go. Yep.
We didn't get to do that. I think we just weren't aware of what the time drops were for that.
Yeah.
So we didn't plan super accordingly. Plus, I think it was more on my radar than either of yours, which is fine.
I mean, I wanted it, but I knew that the shows would take up a good portion of time.
Yep.
And that was just unfortunately what got cut from the day.
Yeah. I suffer from time blindness. So I was very much like, we're going to get to do all of the rides. We're going to get to do news. We're going to get to see the How to Train Your Dragon show. And we're going to meet all the characters that we want to meet and have food and all the food. And it'll be amazing.
No, I think it would take at least 3 days to get
3 to do everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To do all the shows, all the character interactions, all the rides,
and
really
experience
take it all in.
Like,
yeah.
But so it looks cool. I have Skylar did it and said it was amazing. I have friends who work for Universal who were talking about how absurdly incredible it is. And they're not.
Haven't heard anything negative.
Yeah.
Only positive things about all of both shows.
Yeah. So we'll probably try to prioritize shows in October and we'll talk to you guys then.
Mm-hmm.
But we did go to Cafe de la Sirene. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's an air in there somewhere. Anyways, the Siren Cafe. It is. So we went there for dinner. I absolutely loved my quiche. That was the most delicious thing that I've eaten in a really long time. And not just for theme park food. Like, it was just delicious in and of itself.
I didn't love my food. I think I just picked something that was out of my comfort zone just to try. So it wasn't my favorite, but I will say the ordering there was so much easier than Spitfire Grill because you go in and you sit down at a table and each table has a QR code and then you mobile order and they bring it to the table.
They've got that down. The mobile ordering window, no, that, yes.
Yeah. And so when you order for an allergen, the chef will come out, verify your allergy, and then go back and make your food. Once they receive the order, they come out, talk to you, go back, and everything is prepped separate. So it was a lot easier, and I feel like my food didn't come out much after your guys's.
Mm-mm.
We all ordered at the same time. Mine was probably at most 5 minutes came after yours. So yeah, it was a lot easier to order there.
Yeah. And he did really well at calming your nerves about the butterbeer. Because you're like, this topping tastes too good to be tolerant. And he's like, I know it's really good, but I promise you, completely different containers, different sides of the kitchen. There's no way we'd be able to mix those up. Yeah,
they had to have used it was either oat or coconut milk that they used because it had too much sweetness and flavor for it to have been anything else. And I will die on the hill that all dairy-free things need to be made with oat milk or coconut milk. Just, I will die on that hill. There's just so much more flavor. But yeah, the butter beer, the dairy-free butter beer was absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it was so good. I've never had butter beer before, so I was really excited. Okay.
Wow.
I think, is that? Oh, yeah, we did. So if we're finishing up the rest of our day, we went back to Super Nintendo World. We did Yoshi's, which we've already talked about. We did Minecart Madness, which I don't know if it's just because we came back at the very end of the day. I think that's probably, and it had been down for most of the day. Even the express line took us 45 minutes to get through. And
Rough.
And they were only doing express for that for people with disability passes. So
yeah, there's no technically no express lane for minecart.
Yeah.
So it was only an accessibility line, and we waited 45 minutes.
So that was, I think it was a really good ride.
Yeah.
I think that probably colored our experience a little bit.
Yeah.
For me. And we did it at the very end of the day too. So we were tired from going all day. And then we're in an express line that is taking absolutely forever. Everyone around us in the regular queue and the accessibility queue were all like, what? Like, people were questioning their decisions at this point. But we stuck it out.
It is the nature of that ride because it's not a big train and like you load masses on and then it goes off and then the next one loads masses on and so on and so it's a train of 4 or a cart of 4 people at a time going every like 30-40 seconds. Like they have to space them out. But maybe try not to ride it at the end of the night if you're going.
And they will cap lines at the end of the night to make sure that their team members aren't staying too late. Like obviously they know that they're gonna stay late. That's just like how some of these rides work. But they will start capping the lines. So if you are thinking, oh, I can just go get in line at 8:59, right before the park, a minute before park close. No, you're not. They're probably going to have it capped off and you're going to miss it.
Yeah, I would not risk it. And
no, and there was like the Super Mario rides were capped, like both of those were capped. And I think I think Stardust Racers was too.
It may have been,
So it's not just like, just be careful. If there's something that you want to ride, do not wait until a minute before close to get in line. Especially if it's one of the popular rides, because I mean, I think Minecart was at least 2 hours the entire time we were there. And it went down a couple times, so that affects the wait time. But
it was fun. I think once it's consistently going throughout the day, the wait times will go down and it'll be much easier, but it was fun. And then we got to go home and wake up at the butt crack of dawn for all of our lovely super early flights.
I'm just glad I got out when I got out because you guys had issues.
Little bit.
I
could not have had another trip with issues.
I am so glad that your travel for the trip was so easy because both of us had issues going in and coming out.
Yep, we were both late in and out.
Had like a travel day, like nightmare of a day for a trip a week before or 2 weeks before. So like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that if anyone had issues, it was the two of us.
I think I would have literally
You would've
canceled
cried.
every other trip I have because I couldn't. I couldn't. My parents are they're like, please stop. Because they have to take my phone calls of me sobbing in the airport. Like,
Oh no.
but next time we are going to, like Haley said, I think prioritize the shows
Yeah.
to be able to get those in.
And eat at more places too.
Yeah. And we've been seeing them do drone and firework testing.
Because there's going to be a show in the little fountain area in front of Helios.
Have they specifically announced that yet? Because I thought that was still speculation.
I mean, they've got stadium seating set up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I have it on relatively decent authority.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that flying things will be there at some point, or that is the plan.
Yeah.
Well, they were testing them last night.
Yeah.
They were testing all of it last night, and I know people that were in theme park view rooms could see all of it, and they all got let into the room that, hey, like this is going to be going on. So
And there's
And
a fountain show. That's why
yes, there is the fountain show. I heard it was very, very loud.
that's what I heard too.
So something to keep in mind if you have little kids that have a set bedtime. Helios is gonna give you some nice
Views.
That's not what I was gonna say.
I was gonna say views, but also some nice loud noises.
Yeah. Views is great, and it's gonna give you fantastic accessibility to the park.
Oh,
But if
Yeah.
they are not great with loud noises and sleeping through them, maybe try to at least be on the other side of the hotel.
Well, I heard even people at Stella Nova, which is were saying it was really loud. But then Terra Luna people were saying they didn't hear a thing, which is right behind Stella Nova.
That's a stone's throw away. That's not,
So
I think Stella people Nova or Stella Nova people thought they were hearing something.
I think it's probably
they were being dramatic.
Helios will hear things. But just something to keep in mind. We do want to try the Atlantic restaurant because we've heard nothing but good things about that as well. And even for people that are like, seafood in a theme park, have said that it's delicious. So,
because I'm like that. So, yeah.
Oh, I just want to eat seafood, period. But, I'll go there for the views.
They have
Unless you guys want to.
We want to do that steakhouse because Keely needs to embrace her
the vampires.
Yeah. Her inner vampire. That's not what I was gonna say, but yeah, that works.
So eat with the vampires, not inner vampire, with the vampires.
Okay. Keely isn't Halloween obsessed enough, so she needs to eat with the vampires.
Correct. See? True
Hey,
statement.
I would eat with vampires any day.
Of the Cullen variety?
No.
No, the Dracula variety, not the sparkly ones.
Oh,
cool ones.
No, I was gonna say.
Oh,
the Salvatore variety, but
gotcha. I got where we're going. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You still love me, Keely.
No, it's fine. They're in the those are the ones in the middle of the sparkly ones and the original one, but
I did almost start watching True Blood the other day, so that might be a new obsession. Anyway, but I wasn't in a spooky enough mood. So we were on character shows or character interactions and the shows. We are meeting Toothless next time.
I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah. We are meeting Toothless because I was fully friggin' prepared to sob and melt down and just crash out entirely when I met this character. And we didn't get to do it.
Yes.
So, I think that we have probably taken up enough of these kind people's time. So
The full
Maybe.
scoop.
this, and that was not even all of the stuff that we did. Like,
Yeah.
this was 8 hours of it. No,
More.
It was a long day.
12 hours of
Yeah.
fun condensed into 2 hours for your travel consumption convenience. We're crashing out now. It's too long for us to talk.
Yes.
If you have any questions about Epic Universe, if it's something specific that we talked about in here, if it's something we didn't cover that you want information on, drop them in the comments and follow along in October when we go again and fully crash out over the Halloween parts of everything.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you, Brooke, for joining us and being our third brain cell or our
Third
episode.
person sharing the brain cell.
And we will see everyone on our next episode of Wand and Crown. Bye.
Bye.